see it. Just if I'll get up. It's way too big, but it's very flowy, and I feel like I can just become a forest fairy right now. And by the way, in Slavic folklore, forest fairies are not kind because they make you dance until you die. So there are not a lot of creatures in Slavic mythology and folklore that are actually kind. Especially these forest fairies like to lure men to their death. Anyways, I feel like one today in this count. Alright, so let's begin. This was a year of learning lessons, of growth for me. And I feel like I was tested a lot this year. I was. By the way, I'm wearing this metallic lip gloss and you cannot even see it on camera. It just looks very dull. God, I think I'm going to go and change it. Give me a second. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm back. So, honestly, I don't think I will look back at this year very fondly. Now what matters is that I feel like I'm in a much better place than I was at the beginning of the year, which is what matters. I feel like through a lot of trial and error, I am right now where I'm supposed to be, although I feel like it cost me a lot. A lot. Truly. I think this year I started to look at life a bit differently. I see life as a bit of a trade-off, as in there is a price for everything. For example, because I am working 2 jobs, I'm trading my time and maybe my mental well-being for more money. And so I have less free time. I have less time for things I want to do, but it is like a trade-off for bigger things. And that gave me a lot of comfort in times when I felt really unhappy with my life and where I was at, or when I felt really lonely. And this is just one example, right? I could talk about my friends and what they had to trade to get where they are currently, whether they're happy or not. It doesn't matter, but I think at some point I started to stop trying to force myself to be happy, and I just focused on the current moment and not the future, because if I think about the future, it honestly scares me a little bit, because there's just so much that I want to do and I don't know if I can even do that. So instead I think this year I truly focused on the present moment more, and just what I can do today instead of what I'm supposed to do in 2, 3, 5 years, right? That is one change that truly actually made me more content with where I was at. And in a weird way, it actually made me more happy, even though I was not striving to be happy. criticism from people you would not take advice from. Very big motto or advice. If you feel like you don't agree with that person's life choices, why would you take advice from them regarding your life, right? Or why do you take criticism to heart when they have maybe a completely different perspective, or maybe they don't want to see you happy? Yeah, don't take criticism from people you would not take advice from. Okay, remember that. Remember that. Alright. Should we dive into my New Year's resolutions for 2024 and if I actually completed any? Let's do that now. I will go through them rather quickly. I've posted a video here on YouTube talking about what I want to do this year. And the sad thing is, I feel like I give myself realistic goals, and every single year I'm usually able to complete it realistically. This year though, so my number one resolution for this year was to get into writing and try to compete in a literary contest, or contests. How many do you think I actually competed in? 0. How many writing projects do you think I've done? 0. Now, honestly, I feel like life just had a bit of a different plans for me, because I would still like to focus some of my time on writing. I just don't know, with my current situation and where I am at life, I don't know if I can actually do that. Sure, I could find the time for it, despite me working almost 24/7. I feel like I could find the time. It's just that I'm a bit too tired, and I know that it's such a common excuse, but I don't know, it still matters to me, and I would still like to write. In fact, this year I got a really amazing idea for a book, and I'm scared that if I don't write it soon enough, somebody else will steal it. And there's also this fear of, well, I can write it. I don't have that much experience, so chances are it's probably going to suck, and it can get rejected by publishing houses anyway. That's the fear that I have. And then I'm like, well, if I don't even write it, then the answer is no, 400%, right? Like, obviously I'm not going to publish a book if I don't even write it. That's also one motto that I try to tell myself when I'm afraid of trying something. If I don't even try, the answer is no, for 100%. If I at least try, there is at least a probability that it might work out. But if you don't even try, it's a definite no. Will I try to compete in a literary contest this year? I don't know. Or should I say next year? It's still 2024 and 2025. I honestly don't know. I might, and I might not. The sad thing is, I wanted to compete in like a short story competition. Short story is easier to write than a full novel, and I still didn't complete it. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with myself, let's be honest. But also, I have such a great idea for a book that I'm also scared that I will not execute it well. Yeah, it's like dystopian, kind of like Black Mirror, very disturbing. of society and certain practices. Kind of disturbing too. Obviously, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but who knows? I really, really would like to write that book. Okay, second resolution for 2024 was about learning Korean. Okay, well, this year my learning experience was very passive. I've only learned from TV shows, movies, and talking to friends. That was it. Not once have I sat down this year and actually studied. Not once. That is just so sad. Like, not once did I sit down and actually went over some grammar points. Instead, it was very passive for me. For example, I would watch a show, I would not understand a grammar concept, so I would look it up that way and I would learn it that way. It's still better than nothing, and in a way it helped me to acquire the language rather than actually learn it, which is how I've learned English in the first place, by the way. I've also learned it through like TV shows and talking to friends, but still really disappointing. Resolution number 3 was about trying new things on YouTube. I don't think I've even done that, honestly. I definitely, okay, here's the thing, I would like to do more videos about certain topics, like I did the scammer series, for example, on my channel. The thing is, it takes time, and I actually am working on a video since like October, and I just couldn't find the time to actually sit down and write the notes properly. So hopefully that will be coming in like January. But still, I don't know if I try different things on YouTube. I wanted to get my other channel monetized this year. I've posted one video. Just resolution number 5 was about my health, exercises, and my sleeping schedule. Now, this is the only area of my life that actually got better. For example, I've had some minor health issues. I didn't know what was causing it, and now I know. And so I can focus my energy towards it and towards fixing it. I'm talking about things I've mentioned on Patreon in December, but things I will also mention in January Ramble. So that's good. I also started to exercise more, and it started because, again, I had some health issues. I had to do some like stretches or rehabilitation exercises, and then that's how I got into actual working out. Do I complete a very difficult workout every single day? No, but I still do something, and enthusiast, and I need to get back to it because it always made me happier. It's just that when I'm really tired after a long day, it's easier for me to do strength exercises than like a hit cardio, high intensity. I also got some equipment because I only work out at home. I don't really go to the gym now. I used to go to the gym years ago, but now I usually have time only very late at night, and I'm not gonna go to the gym at like 10, 11 p.m. So yeah, my sleeping schedule also got a bit better. I've managed to tackle my insomnia a little bit, so that is one area of my life that genuinely improved this year, and I'm very, very happy about that. And last goal was about my reading goals. Wait, no, that was not the last goal. Second to last. I'm somebody who enjoys reading, and honestly I feel like by trying to set goals for myself, it takes away from the actual joy of reading. This year, when the weather was warm, I went outside, I would read in the park, I would get some sun on my skin, and it honestly improved my mental well-being so much. Just being able to zone out and focus on the sounds of nature only. It was great. I wish I could do that all year round, but if the weather is cold, I'm not going to sit on the ground and read in like freezing temperatures. Ain't no way. But still, I do miss summer for this reason, because it truly helped just my mental health in general. Now in winter, I still read, but not as much as I want, and I don't think I will really set goals for myself like I did previously. And last but not least, I wanted to learn how to crochet, and I failed terribly as well. Now, I still have a bit of time left, so I'm going to ask my mom again if she can show me how to do the basic crocheting patterns. I tried it. It hurt my hand so much, because now you're doing movements that your hand is like not used to, so it kind of hurt a little bit. And I've quit after that, and it just makes me so sad. The fact that an entire year has passed and I have not learned it's outrageous. But I wanted to have a hobby that creates something nice, and I have failed horribly. Okay, so for 2025, honestly, I don't even know if I want to have New Year's resolutions this year, because I feel like each year is just so unpredictable, and there is so many things happening, and then it makes me feel bad if I don't fulfill the resolutions. That being said, everything I just Year's resolution that I have for 2025. I want to try that. I've talked about this on my Patreon. I will not really get into the details on my YouTube channel, but I also have a full-time job. I have YouTube. Yeah, I don't have that much time, so will I try to complete the goals again? Yes, at least I'll try, because if I won't even try, like I told you, the answer is 400% no. I will not learn anything if I won't even try. The one resolution that I want to focus on is, I think, about learning Korean. I need to get back on track. Seriously. And the exercise, I think I can do that realistically. In 2025, my number one priority will be my health. And I'm not just talking about exercise, I'm talking about my health in general. I want to take care of my body so that it will last me a long time. You know, we are all getting older, and I feel like it's so important to take care of yourself mentally and physically. That is my absolute number one priority for 2025, and the rest of the things don't matter that much. Okay, so I forgot to talk about my favorite movie and a book. So my favorite book for this year, I think, I'm still reading it currently, will be The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This is a very popular book about a woman that unalives herself. I have to center myself a little bit. This is YouTube. And she gets to explore different dimensions of her life in this midnight library. She gets to live different lives, different alternatives if she chose differently. I feel like it's not the absolute best book I've ever read, but I feel like it's very healing. It can give you some clarity on your life and maybe just make you more content. That's what this book is doing for me. I know how it ends. Yes, it's very predictable, but in a good way. Okay? Very, very healing book. From movies and TV shows, I've not watched a lot of them this year, but one movie that pops up in my mind is Irish Wish with Lindsay Lohan. It's on Netflix. I have stumbled upon this movie randomly, and it was such a good movie. It is a romantic comedy, and it has a very similar theme to The Midnight Library, because I don't know if I can tell you the spoiler, but the main character, played by Lindsay Lohan, gets to live a different kind of life because of one wish, and I really enjoyed the movie. It is such a feel-good movie. Favorite show of this year? I don't know. I've watched a couple episodes of Black Mirror. I love that show so much. Honestly, it's one of my favorite shows of all time. I will always mention it. Maybe a new season is coming out in 2025. I'm not sure. Maybe. I cannot wait. I love that show so much. And of course, I forgot my favorite song of the year, which was Kaleidoscope